Hey YouTubers, Christopher Wanamaker here doing a new updated financial literacy video on one specific topic subject that's covering costly traps and pitfalls to avoid. So let's get right into it, all right? This first portion is going to be buying more expensive food and drink items from other businesses like fast food joints, movie theaters, and Starbucks coffee, just to give to a couple examples. And pretty much what am I talking about? I am talking about impulse buying is the more specific thing. Someone who doesn't even have a budget or is not following their budget. They're just pretty much like, I see this, I want this, I'm going to get this, I'm not really thinking about my finances, and they just buy whatever they want to buy. Now, if you want to be smarter with your money and be able to budget more effectively, then what you need to be thinking about is, let's give a really good example. Let's say you're going to a movie theater, and instead of, if you know someone who has a purse, big pockets, big, coat with big pockets, and you're not bringing your own cheaper snacks and drinks from wherever the hell you got them, grocery store most likely, and you're not bringing those with you, well, what are you actually spending at the movie theater? Because movie theater stuff is expensive. Now, I can understand getting a popcorn or something like that, but when it comes to almost everything else, they charge anywhere from 2 to 4 times more expensive than what you can get the exact same things, exact same sizes, if not even bigger sizes, for way cheaper of a price at a local grocery store for like a bag of peanut M&Ms or something. So what the grocery charges for that bag of peanut M&Ms compared to what the movie theater charges is 2 to 4 times more at the movie theater. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's give another really good detailed example of Starbucks coffee. So right here, I have a visual. This is a 18 fluid ounce cup of coffee. And they probably don't even fill it up, all the way to the top because they add a little toppings like canned whipped cream. So they probably fill it up about 16 ounces worth. Now, how much does an average, between 16 to 18 fluid ounce cup of coffee cost at Starbucks? It costs $2.10, okay? Compared to spending that $2.10 on going to Walmart and buying this, which is a 37 ounce thing of Folgers 100% Colombian coffee. Now, how much does this cost? This costs from Walmart currently right now $27.41. It says that this 37 ounces or 2.5 pounds worth of Folgers coffee can make up to 315 6 fluid ounces so only 6 of the small mugs of coffee. Now let's increase that to this. Let's say right around 16 to 18. Let's say 18. So divide that by 3, and so for this one thing for 27.41, you can get between 105 to 106 cups of this coffee for the price of 13 of these from Starbucks for $2.10 a piece. So what it means is that you can get way more spending way less than going to a fast food kind of place, fast food joint or coffee shop. Instead of constantly spending tons of money on this, you could be going to the store and getting something like this and getting way more for your buck, pretty much. Way, way more. You can only get 13 of these for the same price of this. That can make you 105 of these. So now let's go into another similar thing, but even bigger. This is a 40 ounce or 3 pounds of Folgers Classic Roast. So this costs, $13 at Walmart currently for this 48 ounce, 3 pound thing of Folgers coffee. Still $2.10 for between 16 to 18 fluid ounces of coffee from Starbucks. And so for this amount, it says you make 386 fluid ounces. So let's divide that by 3 once again. So for the same price of 6 of these, you can get this and you can get 100, right around 126 16 to 18 fluid ounce cups out of this. So once again, it's cheaper to buy this big bulk stuff and then make it yourself at home than going through the the drive-through fast food joints if you're on a very strict budget. So that's one thing that I'm talking about. Okay, let's go into another, costly trap and pitfalls to avoid. Wasting money on wants instead of needs. Unfortunately, one thing I would have to say about most Americans that I know is we overindulge, and a lot of us who haven't been like military trained and all that kind of stuff, learning how to sacrifice, give up everything everything you love for weeks or many months or a whole year for like when we go out into the field, basic training, AIT, intense training, having drill sergeants look over our shoulders, breathe down our neck, yell and scream at every angle in our face and everything, and have to sacrifice for the training and can't have whatever we want of sodas and desserts because we're in training. We're nothing. We're cockroaches. We're maggots. We're nothing. We're at the bottom of the barrel. We have to earn our desires, our wants, our what they only give us what we absolutely need, and then you deploy. And whether it be a 9-month deployment like it is nowadays, it's almost nonstop 9 months unless they really need that specific type of unit and that type of equipment. Otherwise, back in the day, until several years ago when they changed it, only 9-month deployments. It used to be anywhere from 12 to 18-month deployments, and you'll be lucky if you get like about the size of a laptop bag worth of room out of all the duffel bags and rucksacks and gear that you're bringing with you to have everything you need while you're deployed. Well, then you have very little space for personal stuff, so you'll be lucky to bring like a digital picture frame, a laptop, headphones, maybe a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and stuff. You got about enough room to fill up maybe a laptop bag, and that's about it of personal stuff. And then for the next however long your deployment is, and what amenities do they have there, you're sacrificing for a long time during that deployment and stuff. And so a lot of Americans don't know how to have discipline, have patience. They don't really know the fine line difference between wants and needs, their desires and their necessities. There is a fine line, and all they usually care about, because they're so undisciplined, so impatient. It's, I want what I want it now, I wanted it yesterday, I have no patience and discipline, and if I'm not going to get it, I'm going to throw a Karen 4-year-old hissy fit. So you need to really start, focusing, having discipline, and knowing your wants from your needs, and buckling down, tighten the notches on your belt, so to speak, when it comes to your financial budgeting. But what specific things am I talking about? Spending money on wants, that's just, you're flushing your money down the toilet. A massive amount of alcohol, constantly buying alcohol, cigarettes as well, chewing tobacco, marijuana, and then always having to have and needing the newest piece of technology like phones, laptops, iPads, whatever it is. Only having these pieces of technology for like a year or two, and then like, oh, I want the new iPhone, fucking 200 or whatever it is, because it's new, it's the newest, it has new features and all that. Until the phone I'm using right now, I had my last Android Verizon phone for about 6 to 7 years before there were no more software updates. So after a while, certain apps like my banking app, Uber app, and really important apps were no longer functioning because I couldn't get a new software update. So it forced me to look and get a new upgraded phone going from 4G to 5G and all that kind of stuff. But until that happened, I was like, hey, the phone's doing what I needed to do. So the functions still work. Why do I need the newest freaking phone, that costs a bloody fortune? A lot of these newer phones cost anywhere minimum of $800-ish up to well over $2,000. And it's just, that's a waste of money when, the phone that you have is still overall good until it really starts, it either breaks or the functions of it just stop working. Then it's time to get a new phone. You don't always need the newest, best of everything right away. So and the amount of alcohol, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, even marijuana, and all that. A little here, a little there is fine. Us Americans definitely have a problem with overindulgence and really have no discipline and willpower to take things in moderation. And if you can learn to teach yourself and have discipline and moderation, like one pack of cigarettes to last 2 weeks or a month or whatever, because a lot of you go through like a half a pack or a full pack in a day or a couple days, and they keep getting more and more. I mean, just add up, grab all the receipts, keep all the receipts for the alcohol, the chewing tobacco, and add it up in like 1 month. What are you spending on chewing tobacco, alcohol, your coffees, your cigarettes, your marijuana, your e-cigarettes, and all that? You're probably wasting a crap ton of money that you could be keeping, and that could be vacation money, that could be paying off other debts faster money, that could be emergency savings money if you lose a job or your car breaks down, or unexpected, a medical bill, dental bill, whatever it is. You could be taking that money and putting it instead of the wants, likes, nice to haves, not necessities, and putting it towards more important needs, necessities, paying bills, paying debts, putting the money away for vacations, savings, emergency savings, retirement, into stocks, whatever it is. ATM fees, withdrawals. So I learned this myself. So I have USAA and for a bank, which is more of an online bank. Their main facility is located in Colorado Springs. And pretty much what I learned is if I, go to either a USAA ATM, like a pull-up, drive-up ATM or whatever, then any money that I pull out of my checking or savings, that ATM, because it's my bank, doesn't charge me. Now, I call up USAA, talk to them, and they give me a listing of specific, brand ATMs that if I, use their ATMs to pull out cash, yes, they will charge me however much it is. It could be $1.50 up to like, I think, $3.50 is the max I've seen to, pull out cash money from my checking or savings from an ATM, a cash ATM. However, because if they are partnered with USAA, then within a couple of days, week max, whatever that ATM charged me to pull out that cash, I'll get reimbursed. But then other brands that are not teamed up with USAA, when they charge me, I won't get reimbursed. So that is a good thing to do, is to find out, are there specific ATM brands that have contracts, agreements with your specific bank, and then look for those specific ATMs. And so even when you get charged, you get reimbursed the charge for pulling cash money out. Another way to avoid doing that, avoid the ATM fees altogether, when you go grocery shopping, or grocery shopping, or even at a mall or something, a gift shop, a clothing store, whatever, when you are, paying for everything, ask for cash back, and that avoids the charge fee altogether. Another big one is speeding and parking tickets. It's pretty much slow down, take your time, think ahead. In the military, we had a bit of a saying. Not only is it better to have and not need than to need and not have, but at the same time, it's, on time is early. Which means if we, were told formation was at 1700 at the end of the day, that's 5 p.m. if you don't know military time, and so formation starts at exactly 1700, then you need to be getting to that formation location spot about at least 10 to 15 minutes prior to 1700 or 5 p.m. So you need to be there between ready to stand in formation and have formation at 4:45 to 4:50, 10 to 15 minutes early. So on time, is early. And if that means you got to get up a little earlier, you got to set your alarm clock a little earlier because maybe you shut off your alarm, then you roll over, and you're usually in bed for another 10 to 30 extra minutes before fully waking up. And maybe you also hit the snooze, not the off button, so it'll go off multiple more times to wake you up. If you need to leave a little earlier to get to work a little earlier, so that way on time is early. Better to be on time than or early than late at all, even by a minute. Then do what you need to do, and slow your butt down on the highway. It's not everybody else's fault that you're late to work because you didn't prioritize, you didn't get your butt up, you kept hitting the snooze button. So if you have to have like some kind of ice cold water or whatever, you need a partner. Like, hey, when my alarm goes off, like shake me, yell and scream my ear. Pull out the foghorn and put it near my face and let it off. Have a glass of water to, with just a tiny little bit of water in a cup, and dunk it on my face, whatever. Do what you have to do to get me up. If I'm not much of a morning person, I can't just jump right up. Get help, and then don't be speeding on the highway. There's a rule of thumb here in the Northwest. In other parts of the country, I've learned it as well when it comes to speeding and being pulled over and all that. I got my license when I was 23 at a soldier station in Hanau, Germany. I got my I got American license, then European license, and so I mostly learned how to drive in Europe, actually before I even really majorly drove in the United States. Didn't get my first car until summer of 2008, and so I was like right before I turned 24. And so in that amount of time, since summer of 2008 to now, summer of 2023, I've been pulled over about 6 different times, and only the first 3 times did I get tickets. Only the very first time did I actually deserve the ticket that I got. The other 2 were jokes. They were stupid, and I shouldn't have received them. But I also fought it, and whatever the actual ticket amount was, I was able to get them cut in half too, because I took the time and energy to fight for it and explain what happened. And pretty much here in the Northwest, and a good portion of the rest of the United States, a lot of police officers have a rule of thumb, and that is, whatever the speed limit is on the highways, let's say it's 60, then I do no more than maximum of 70 on cruise control. Their rule of thumb for a lot of places, but not every place, some places are very sticklers for the rules, and depending on the police officer themselves of what they believe. But even no matter what the speed limit is, it's 9 to 10 over, you're fine. 11 or more, you're mine. So if the speed limit is 60, the maximum you should be doing is 70. I do about 9 to 10 over, usually 9, because then if you're going downhill, you're going to go up 1 or 2 miles per hour. Going uphill, you're decreasing 1 or 2 miles per hour. So, and then if I'm 11 or more, and I see a cop and it's a speed trap and all that, they're most likely pulling me over. So 6 times been pulled over, 3 times were warnings, other 3 times were tickets, and only the first one did I receive because I tried to get around a bunch of slow people and pass them, and I think I would hit like 120 and was starting to slow down, and he clocked me at 90 when I should have been, the maximum I should have been doing was 80, and that was a little north of I think Longview, Washington. I was coming down from Fort Lewis to link up with family members, aunt and uncle and grandma and grandpa in the area at a Red Lobster right off of the Kelso exit of 39 off I-5. So yeah, take your time. Don't be using the highway like it's your personal racetrack. Look at meters, put more time, even if you think you'll be in and out in 60 minutes, maybe do like 90 minutes worth. Give yourself a little extra time and try to avoid all these tickets, which is just a waste of money. And think and plan ahead as well. Okay, next thing, another costly trap and pitfall. cable or satellite TV. Why people are pretty much still using cable and satellite is probably for more of the older generation because they're just so used to it and they don't care how expensive it is. They're just, this is what I know, this is what I grew up with. I'm an old dog and you can't teach a dog new tricks. And when in fact you actually can, if those old dogs would, open their mind and stop being stubborn. So, and it's like pretty much, I pay only for internet. I pay, was it Century? Not Century, like I had that before. I pay Xfinity, Comcast Xfinity now. It originally was like, for the first 2 years, I think I was paying $60 a month. Now I'm paying about 76, I believe it's gone up, because of inflation and everything. And so I pay $76 a month currently. And then I also pay for VPN to hide my IP address. And I pay anywhere from 100 to 120 for a year. Maybe sometimes they do a special. It might be 15 months worth. So you're paying like between $9 to $10 per month for that. So you do that, and it's like learn how to freaking use technology, and it's not hard to turn on a laptop, log in with like a PIN or something or password or whatever, and then have your laptop with an HDMI cable and connect it to your TV. No matter how, what size the TV is, and then like Bluetooth, either your normal mouse and keyboard on your laptop or PC, or a Bluetooth wireless mouse and keyboard, and then have like an external hard drive, a Seagate, 6 terabyte, 8 terabyte, 10 terabyte, 12 terabyte, whatever, and pretty much learn how to either stream like Hulu stream, Netflix, internet stream. And so you're using your laptop and connecting it to your TV, or you're learning how to download things as well, and put them on your TV shows, favorite TV shows, movies, music albums on a backup larger like Seagate, 6, 8, 10, 12 terabyte hard drive. And if you do that, I always recommend having a backup, having a primary like I have on my computer desk and all that, and then I have a backup and a fireproof safety box. I pull it out every now and then, I connect both of them, and everything on my new hard drive goes on my backup hard drive. So just in case one fails or breaks or whatever, I have a secondary backup and I didn't lose everything. So learn how to mainly stream, learn how to pay just for internet, and figure out, how to connect to your favorite TV shows and movies through the internet and connect that to your TV going through your computer. And that will probably, comparing prices to cable and satellite, it's nothing compared to cable and satellite prices nowadays. So another thing to look into, pretty much any kind of gym fees, magazine subscriptions, dating profiles. If you're paying for some kind of membership of some kind, and then you got to ask yourself, did you just use it once, twice, and then you stopped using it? Well, you need to keep an eye on your bank account and seeing these monthly charges. And if you're not using it, you need to cancel it. Call them up, find the phone number, and cancel it. I've done this in the past. I've gotten a lot better with it. But in fact, more recently, I realized fine-tuning my budgeting for the next couple of months, I realized that I was paying about $10.85 per month for a thing called Spotify. And I also, but I wasn't purchasing this other type of software that connects to the Spotify website to be able to download music. And so since I'm not paying for that other thing, I'm just paying for the Spotify month after month after month after month. And I had done it for about a year to year and a half. That's like $120, $180 lost and I wasn't, so I had a subscription and, was paying for it month after month, but not actually using it. So I more recently downloaded the proper software that I needed. I think it's like Allen Soft or something like that. Allo's Soft or something like that, and that connects with Spotify to be able to download things properly, music songs, individual songs or full albums and everything. And then once I downloaded all my newest music and everything, then I canceled both subscriptions until the next time. So yeah, the same thing with gym memberships. If you go like you signed up and then you got into it for a little while, then you got out of it, you stopped using it, but you might still be paying for it. You need to keep good track of what you're spending in and out on credit cards, debit cards, your checking and savings accounts. You need to keep an eye on that. On top of that, by keeping an eye on that constantly, I check my bank account probably about 12 times a day, because also then I can verify all the charges that are going on, whether it be debit card or credit cards or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, that was this, that was this. This is for movie stuff. This was for updating my Microsoft subscription or whatever. And then, or you find out that maybe you signed up for one thing and then they connected you to something else, and now you're paying for a porn website or something. You bought diet pills. I've seen that actually. That's a big thing lately. If you don't watch what you're purchasing when you're trying to, like, say, purchase Microsoft Office, or you're trying to purchase a VPN and they're getting ready to charge you, they have these extra blocks down below, that are, when you're saying I agree and all that, there's these extra things that it's signing you up for: memberships for ebooks, diet pills, vitamins, whatever, sample stuff. Membership with something else. If you don't unclick the box, it's automatically clicked on. If you don't unclick the check box or whatever, then you're getting charged even more stuff. And then you start receiving things in the mail or emails about stuff that you didn't even know that you purchased. So you've got to keep a good eye on your bank account, because a lot of people are pulling these scams where you're signing up for one thing and they're signing you up for one or two other things. You got to be very careful. That's why very diligent. And then like, no, I didn't want that. I only wanted this other thing. And I maybe wanted not a full subscription, but a trial membership. And then now I don't want that anymore. So you stay on top of it, make the proper phone calls, be patient, stay on the phone, get an agent, and like cancel this. And this is what, the last four of the card or whatever, and get your money back. So stop letting money just be flushed down the toilet and wasted, and where you're like bleeding money out of your account. Don't let that happen. Like I was saying right from the very beginning, not having a budget itself can be very detrimental to you. So create a budget. I will be going over creating a very effective budget in another video. Buying a brand new car instead of a used car. This one is kind of big. Now, what you really need to know about this is it really depends on your situation. It depends on what can you afford. Are you doing good with your finances? Do you have a good amount of money put away? My biggest thing is you need to be smart. You need to be patient. Don't rush this. Do your homework. Ask questions. Get subject matter experts involved if you're not that experienced with buying a vehicle. The two biggest things is if you're going to get a used vehicle, which could be, very compared to a brand new vehicle, and then you got to put a certain amount of money down, and then it's a loan, and you're making monthly payments, and you're probably paying off anywhere from a $20,000 to $30,000 car, and all that. You might want to look into, especially for your very first car, looking at trying to hire or find a mechanic friend, or hire a mechanic who has some free time. Once you and this person link up, they go over this used car that you're really interested in, one or two of them, or maybe the person that you might be buying it from, even a used dealership or whatever. You want, before you're willing to buy it and sign your name on the dotted line, taking over the title of the car and stuff, or a used car, is that you want it looked over by a professional mechanic. And then on top of that, it's a decently clean on the inside, and most like dealership places at least clean the interior, the exterior, and all that. So is it mechanically sound is what you want to find out. Is it clean, and is it worth the money, and then the mileage and all that. And then are you starting to put money away off to the side for future either repairs, maintenance services, changing out oils and coolant, transmission fluid, and brakes, and all this other stuff, new tires and all that. You're putting money away, saving up for that kind of maintenance services or repairs, and or even saving up for possible upgrades, maybe going from fabric seats to leather upholstery, which I would highly recommend one specific company because it was incredibly worth the amount. I did it for my own vehicle several months ago. Went from fabric upholstery in my 2018 Hyundai Kona to leather. Went through Catskin. I think it's Katzin. And almost everybody else I was going through, and I went through 3 or 4 other businesses, and they're like several weeks it would take to do it, and like 2 to 3 months, and $2,000 to $3,000. Some of them with military discounts, some not. Go through Catskin, and then it's a specific company, and they partner with other people in your area. I churn in my vehicle with a military discount, cost me a total of $1,620. And from the time I dropped off my car to have the leather upholstery done, 30 hours later, it was done. It was done and ready for pickup. So I had to take an Uber Lyft drive back home, which where I went was near the Washington Square Mall in the Tigard, Oregon area. It's where I dropped it off. It was like a mile away from the Washington Square Mall. And then I had to take, I went to the mall. I got an Uber Lyft fare. I think it was Uber. Picked me up from the mall, took me back home. And then the very next day, got an Uber in my area and went back to that location and got my car back. So if you're looking into a brand new car, this is the biggest life learning lesson that I learned when it came to this specific subject. I didn't do it myself the first time, and I regret it. And that is contact, if you've had a bank, you have a physical bank, you've had, you've gone, checking account, savings account, credit cards through them and all that. And as long as hopefully that bank hasn't, caused you too much trouble, kind of like a USA Bank, I think is one of the worst banks out there. I would never bank with them again. So many problems. But yet USAA, I've never had a single problem with. I've had them for about 14 years or so. And anyway, what I learned was if you're going to go to a dealership, before you go to the dealership, start looking at whether it be used or new, and you're looking at getting like a personal loan, auto loan, whatever, what you need to do is be contacting your specific bank that you have experience and rapport with, and you need to be asking them of your current credit, what would you qualify for, whether it be 12-month, 24-month, 36-month, 48-month, 60-month, 72-month, personal or auto or both, and at what APR interest rate would they give you. You write all that down, you take that with you to a dealership, used or new, and this prevents the dealership from being able to take financial advantage of you. Because then you could take your information you got from your experienced bank that you have a rapport with, because when you get a car from a dealership, you're not buying the car from the dealership. What you are doing is they're going to hit up some bank, whatever bank they go through a very specific bank. They're going to get that information of how many months, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, or 72-month loan at what APR interest rate through that bank. You're actually buying the car from the bank, not the dealership. The dealership, if you sign the dotted line, the bank is giving them the total dollar amount of money for that car. So it's pretty much the bank is buying the car for you. The dealership is getting paid by the bank, and now the contract is not with the dealership; it's with the bank. So that means if you get information from your bank on what you qualified for, most likely your bank, if you've been with them long enough, will take good care of you, give you a better loan, both time frames, amount of money, and with a decent interest rate, while this other bank that the dealership goes through doesn't know you, doesn't care. So I experienced that myself. And pretty much, when I first got my first car, an '09 Sonata, I pretty much signed whatever. I did I think it was a 60-month auto loan. I think it was through U.S. Bank as well. And I was paying, high interest because I didn't care, didn't understand all that stuff at that time. And I was paying a 613-month auto loan. I luckily paid it off about a year ahead of time because of my deployment to Iraq, and saved up money and paid it off. So instead of 60 months, I paid it off in 48. and all of that. And by paying off loans early, it also saves you a bunch of money in interest rate payments. I think I saved myself about $1,200 to $1,500 in interest by paying it off a year early, and also paying it off early, and the total amount also looks really good on your credit. Your credit score can go up, several to a dozen points depending on the size of the loan and how fast you paid it. All that, you can get a good extra boost in your credit. So before buying a new or used vehicle from any kind of dealership, if it's not from a specific person, then you need to talk to your bank, do your homework, ask the proper questions for both a auto loan specifically, but also a personal loan, because you might even be able to do a combo, get a little bit from an auto loan, a little bit from a personal loan, combine it together, and then get something pricey. So, but know what will you qualify for? 12 to 72 month loan. What are the APS interest rates through your bank, and then compare that to the other bank that the dealership goes through. And then if your bank is better and you let them know that at the dealership, and you do that like 2 or 3 times, then it'll go from high interest to lower interest. They'll work on it. Like, let me see what I can do. Be like, I'm not signing the dotted line unless, because this is a higher interest and higher monthly payments through the bank you're going through than the bank that I can go through, which is my bank. They're willing to give me a better deal. And so you show them that, you bring that information, so it's like, oh, dude, this guy knows, this person, man or woman, they know their stuff. They're more seasoned, they're more experienced. We can't, screw around with this person. We have to take them more seriously. They actually have some financial literacy knowledge. So you do that, and you will get a better. When I did that the second time, turning in my '09 Sonata for my now 2018 Hyundai Kona in Phil Long Hyundai in Colorado Springs, end of March 2018, I got a $4,000 trade-in value for my '09 Sonata. And then I did talk to my bank ahead of time, and I had that information with me. And, I pretty much got a 72-month auto financing loan through Ints Credit Union, that's the bank they went through, at a 2.99 APR interest. And my bank was willing to do, I think it was 4.39% APR interest for up to a 72-month loan. So by having that information, and I didn't go with the first one that was a little lower, I did it twice, and so the third time, and I got 2.99 APR, because also they were tracking my Experian and Equifax credit score at 803 each. So that is a big thing. Be smart of either getting for used cars, get a professional mechanic to look it over inside and out to see, is it, the asking price, is it worth the money? Or like, I'll buy it if you throw in a new set of tires, or that and interior detailing or something like that. You get a little extra out of it. You gotta, don't just take the sticker price as the sticker price. Oh yeah, it looks nice, I'll take it. I'm undisciplined and super impatient. You need to use this. Have patience, have discipline, do your homework, ask the right questions, and it will save you so much money. Or for that money, you'll get something even better. You'll get more out of it. Next thing, renting a bigger, more expensive apartment or even house than what you can really afford. Consider, going smaller, or consider getting one or multiple roommates to help cover costs that make that home, apartment, a complex, or actual mortgage worth it. You don't need to upgrade everything. Like I was saying before, you don't need to upgrade every new piece of technology, new laptop, new phone. Every time a new Xbox, PlayStation gaming console comes out, every time there's a new, bigger TV, smarter TV. I have a JVC 40-inch TV. It's like about that thick from, I think it was 2007, from Hanau, Germany. And I got like 50% off. It was like $3,200, so I bought it for like $1,500, sale. I waited until after, right after the holidays, like a Black Friday kind of prices. And this one even has a European plug, not even an American plug. I had to put a American plug adapter on it. And by doing that, and yet the TV still does exactly what I need it to. I can hook up my laptop to it, the HDMI cable. I had the remote still works. The TV and video works. The sound still works. It doesn't need to be the most current, the biggest, the most expensive, the coolest 4K, the highest tech thing. I've had the same TV because it does the basics that I needed to do since 2007. No major issues with it whatsoever. It'll probably last me, another 10 to 15 years if I take care of it. And that's the other thing, take good care of your property. Learn to take good care of your home. I say a good home is a clean, organized, efficient, well-maintained, decorated home. Take pride in what you have by taking care of it, whether it's technology, it's furniture, it's your vehicle, anything that costs hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars is worth taking care of. I've seen little Facebook, posts of, people bought a vehicle, a classic, Cadillac car from the 50s, and they have it, 60, 70, 80 years later, and, it's still in excellent condition because it's like you take care of things, they last. So, let's see. Also consider downsizing. If you're looking that, I want a bigger home because I have so much stuff because I'm pretty much a hoarder. If you're not actually, go through your personal property in every room, in every area, break it up. Don't look at the whole pie. Otherwise you get fearful and you get anxiety and all that. Break it up by little areas, break up the pie to little pieces. And so it's not as overwhelming. So it's like I, have a laundry room area, pantry, a kitchen, a deck, a back balcony deck, living room, bathroom, and bedroom. I choose one area at a time to comb through, clean, and organize. I start looking at items. Do I need this? Do I want that? Do I want to try to see about upgrading? Okay, I want to get a new this, that, and the other. Right now, I just put up on my offer up for 300. They're selling on Amazon for 400 brand new. A sports rack, 18 cubic square foot, lockbox container, roof rack, and they're selling for 400 on Amazon. I'm asking 300 because it's slightly used, and I want to get like a newer, same size but Thule lockbox container, which costs about 800. So I'm wanting to get rid of the old, sell it, get some money in pocket to help me pay for the new and replace it. So asking yourself the question of, do I, still want this? Do I need it? Do I actually use it? If I haven't used it in a year or two, or it's been buried somewhere, then obviously it's not that important to me, so I don't really need it, so get rid of it. Now, if you put things that are actually worth some money, still can be used, someone else can enjoy it, you put it up for either trade or sale and say offer up, or Facebook Market or eBay or whatever it is, or actually have an actual garage sale, yard sale kind of thing, then if it doesn't sell after so long, depending on what it is, if it doesn't sell in a year or two, give yourself a time limit, then maybe consider donating it instead to like a Goodwill or something. Declutter your home. I do it like almost every season. I'm looking at all my different areas, to clean, season cleaning, kind of like, spring cleaning, but I do it for all seasons. And, so I got rid of a lot of old artwork and I got new stuff. My art tastes were changing from younger, always wanting hot, sexy women pics of friends or celebrities or whatever, to, more landscapes and beautiful structures like castles and all this other kind of stuff, So things change over time. So learn, and that also allows you to, if you downsize, then maybe, you're more comfortable in your actual home. You're not like, oh, honey, we need to buy a bigger home because we have too much stuff. Well, how about you downsize? And especially as you're getting older, you're getting slower, it's harder to take care of and maintain a big home with so much stuff. I'm a big fan of the A&E, like hoarder TV shows, and it's like, oh my God, I hope I never, live with someone like that. I hope I never, put myself in that kind of a situation. I always want to keep fine-tuning and getting rid of stuff if I'm not really using it. unless it's like some kind of emergency supply, like emergency food or something like that, emergency water storage and things like that. And, you know, but also not having too much of that is good. Having a decent amount is good. Um, Not having a 3 to 6 month emergency savings. There are ways to make extra money out there. Look up the Facebook profile, The Penny Hoarder. And they post articles all the time on like 12 different ways, 50 different ways to either fine tune your budget, create a budget, how to make extra money off to the side, including like Lyft and Uber driving, DoorDash, Uber Eats, plasma donation. I've done that before. I was also a Uber and Lyft driver each for 2.5 years, 5-year driver, 7,100 fares complete. You know, but then where are you? Is it busy in your area? What kind of vehicle do you drive? Do you get good gas mileage? Is it worth the gas because gas is going through the roof? You got to ask yourself all these, you know, different questions to find out, are you making money or losing money? And are you willing to put in the time, energy, and effort as well? So find different ways to make extra money, pay off your current actual debts, the faster the better. And then you need a 3 to 6 month. And how do you create one of those? It's pretty much add up all your, you know, average monthly expenses. It's good to figure out how much did you actually fully spend on all your monthly fixed and variable costs, including gas and food. Combine it all together for 3 whole months worth, and then divided by that total amount for 3 whole months divided by 3. There's your average. So like right now, I spend an average of right about, paying for all rent, utilities, food, gas, everything, $2,600. So you take that amount, let's say it's 25, multiply it by 3. That's 7,500. Oh no, wait, sorry. Yeah, 2,500. Yeah, $7,500. And so, or up to 15,000 would be 6 months worth. So 3 to 6 months worth. So pay off your debts faster, and then start putting more money away to emergency savings for when emergencies happen. You know, breakdowns and issues with vehicles that need to be repaired, unexpected medical and dental costs. You know, you got fired from a job, and you know, hopefully you do get unemployment, but you also have this emergency savings if you need a good amount of time to last you until you find another form of work, or you even got injured, and then maybe did you have a surgery? Did you have time for you know, physical therapy to get back on track? That unemployment, if you get it, on top of 3 to 6 months of emergency savings, could make it where you could go without work for a long time, but you still have to be, when you're in that condition, you have to really get disciplined, really get focused, and think about wants over needs. No matter how much you really want, like you know, Papa Murphy's pizza, that 30, 40, 50 bucks, depending on type and size and ingredients and all that, you could be buying, you know, 2 to 5 times more in groceries for that one pizza. You have to be a lot smarter. That means, yeah, you're gonna have to sacrifice for a long time, like veterans do when they go through basic training, AIT, or you know, 9-month to 18-month long deployments. And we're going through hell, and we're, you know, we don't have Burger King and Pizza Hut and Papa Murphy's and barbecue places out there. We're eating at either military dining facilities, what they feed us, or MREs, or, you know, honey buns and Rippets, if we can get that kind of stuff, and Pop-Tarts. We eat what's put in front of us and what's provided, and we get the hell over it because we're there to do a job, not to be pampered. So, let's see, being drawn in or tempted by 0% APR interest rates on credit cards. You know, to get this credit card, sign up for this other credit card, movie theater credit cards, store credit cards, and you think it's a good deal. It's not. What's the maximum amount of credit cards if you don't own a business that you should be having? No more than 3. Every single one of them should be critical. It should be, you know, this is very, very useful for this, that, and the other, and should have some kind of rewards, like cashback rewards, or if you fly a lot, mileage point rewards, or something like that. If the credit card is doesn't have some kind of bonus that really benefits you and your life and environment and everything, and it's just an extra card to spend a bunch of money that you shouldn't be spending. It's a bad credit card. Don't get it. You shouldn't have more than 3 if you don't own a business, period. Just because businesses have sales does not mean that you need to go to the store and buy money, because these shoes are on sale. Okay, so it's one of those things of needs over wants, having discipline, having willpower. I have an aunt on my mom's side of the family who has done this many, many times. Her husband finally said to stop it, blowing money up the wazoo. They had this thing where they had this little baggie with like a little purse shut lid thing. And they had these sales every now and then when they had too much on hand of no matter, everything you can fit in this little bag and actually close the lid is like $4 or $5. So all brand new clothes and all this other kind of stuff, whatever you can fit in that bag, as long as it can close, then it's $4 to $5. Just because a sale happened, she's like, I need this. I need to get more. I need to get more. She barely wears the clothes that she has. She could fill 3 bedrooms worth in clothes. She has like 300 pairs of shoes, probably 1,000 shirts, 1,000 pairs of pants, 500 dresses. She barely wears 3 in a week. So all because it's the impulse buying. Oh, they have a sale. I have to go shopping. It makes me happy. And yet you're being financially childish and irresponsible. So now it's one thing if, I get rid of 20 items and now I need to replace it with 20 new items. I wore those for a couple of years. Let me get rid of these 20 items and go get 20 replacement. That would be more responsible. Not coming through your mail, being afraid and terrified of bills that come in because they're debt collectors or they're past due or whatever. I've seen it on like Till Debt Do Us Part. It's happened. YouTube TV shows, Financial Guru from Canada, really good show. And then another one that the same host of Till Debt Do Us Part did called Princess. Those are 2 really good financial guru shows. Learn a lot of great things on fixed and variable costs and how to fine-tune your budgeting and pay down your debt and not lose your home and break up your relationship and all that. I highly recommend checking it out. But it's like some people, they're afraid of their bills. They're afraid of what comes in. They don't want to deal with, adult responsibility reality. They want to stick their head in the sand. So they grab their mail and just throw it in a bin, a drawer, accordion folder, or in the garbage. They don't even pull out and actually look at it. Another thing you could do to save money is, instead of getting paper bills from any kind of business, internet, phone bill, cable, whatever it is, go through online, set up an account, and set up paperless billing and auto pay. It costs them money. The businesses cost money, so they put an extra several dollars charge. It could be a couple bucks to up to $10 addition onto your monthly bill, because you didn't set up for paperless billing, where you just get in a text message, an email, instead of a paper bill being mailed to your home and with postage and all that. So if you go paperless billing and auto pay, where it automatically comes out, gets charged on a credit card, debit card, checking account, whatever, connect it to some kind of account, and it will charge that credit card or debit card or checking account. Those 2 things can save you several dollars each month and lowering your monthly bills because you did that. So, losing receipts, not getting when I was an Uber rideshare driver, Uber Lyft, I would keep all my receipts, car wash receipts, food receipts, gas receipts, all that. If you're going to be really good with taxes and get tax write-offs and all this other kind of stuff, depending on the kind of business you have, instead of losing the receipts, get a little 3-ring binder with document protectors, and then have a couple different document protectors for all gas receipts, all car wash receipts, all food receipts, and all that kind of stuff. Keep them separated, and the most current one in the very front, to be able to keep track of that really well. Stay clean and organized. Not teaching kids about money. If you have learned over time, you've made your own financial mistakes. I think everybody does. But then I would look into, once you've learned these lessons, and maybe write them down, remember them, at the point in time that your kids start to get to a certain age, like teenager age, actual teenagers, they need to, maybe at the time you're going to start giving them an allowance. They maybe get their own little side job. I started working when I was 12 years old, started babysitting in a small town known as Toledo, Washington. By 14, because I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, he was getting ready to, at 16, get approved with parent approval, work at a grocery store in Toledo known as Red Apple. So he had a lawn mowing job before that. He created his own lawn mowing business in Toledo, Washington. Well, my mom forced me to go out with him before he started working at Red Apple and take over the lawn mowing business. So something that our parents taught him and he passed down to me was how to budget properly. He's like, oh, you just went and mowed a bunch of lawns in a month and you made about $500. Good job. Oh, you think you're going to keep that $500? No, that's not how the adult world works. So whatever I made, a fifth of it, or 20%, goes into pays him off for his lawnmower, his weed eater, his rake at a depreciated couple year price. So a fifth of my money that I'm making is now going to him until that depreciated dollar amount is gone and done and over with, is paid off. The other fifth is going in my pocket. Another fifth is going into a savings account that won't be touched. Another fifth is going into another account. It's kind of like a savings account, but it's used specifically to used for replacing and getting more fuel, gas, and oil for the weed eater and lawnmower. The other fifth is to replace, make maintenance repairs, broken wheels, broken blades, getting the weed whacker string or whatever. It's all these extra accessories or repairs. So 20% for 5 different categories. When I have him fully paid off, then and now it's broken up by 25% for the other 4 categories. So what he did is he pretty much taught me, and my parents taught him that, and he pretty much taught how the real world works with, you think you're going to make this hourly wage, you did 40 hours, a whole, in a week, you're expecting this amount, but then taxes and FICA and all that get taken out. I've seen little video clips, TikTok video clips where a person from his first job, and they take who's FICA, who's Social Security, and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, the government's got to get their cut too. So you expected this amount, and you got like maybe 50% to 66% of what you were expecting. So if you learn about finances, the mistakes you made, you fix them, you ask more questions, you learn more and more, then pass that on to your children when they get of age, so they don't make the same mistakes that you did. Then you always want the next generation to do and have and learn and improve upon your generation. So pass on your knowledge, your experiences, good and bad, and pass it on to them, and even force it on them if you need to. It will massively benefit them in the distant future. So that is pretty much for this category of costly traps and pitfalls to avoid. That is everything I have. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please hit like, hit subscribe, make any comments, hopefully mostly positive, make any recommendations. How can I make this video better for future development and everything? Ask any questions you have, and I hope you have a good day and you have a good summer. All right, talk to you later, and have a good summer. Bye.